This is Karangahape Road, central Auckland. Most people call it K Road. It's edgy, diverse and colourful. My name is Six. For many years, K Road was my home. I was homeless. Now I write and publish the K Road Chronicle, a newspaper that gives street people their own voice. This is my round. I know it and I love it. But now I want to venture out and hear stories from the homeless community who live beyond K Road. Many young people who are couch surfing, crashing at a mate's or staying in a garage don't even think of themselves as homeless. But it's a huge and often hidden problem. Lifewise, who look after the homeless community, have a youth team who are tasked with housing vulnerable young people. But demand always outstrips supply. Team leader Aaron gets an update on the latest figures.
Last 6 months we've had to turn away 58% of the referrals because of no housing options.
And do we know where they went?
No, they could be anywhere.
Like some of them are 16, 17.
Yeah, the average age was around 19, but yeah, definitely 16, 17-year-olds.
The Lifewise team do manage to help some of those in need. Youth worker Samie shows me around one of the flats they can offer to young people who are homeless.
This is where it all happens.
And it's all furnished?
Yeah, it all comes fully furnished.
Nice bed.
Here. Yeah,
yeah. Lovely, spacious.
Yeah, we try and make it feel as much as like a home as possible. This is it. Yeah, they all have that similar or the same furniture. And yeah, this is the lounge.
These units are used to help young people transition into a more permanent home of their own.
Yeah, so this is one of the units within one of our programs that young people, well, rangatahi will come in and live in for a period of time.
Honestly, I had no idea how big the problem was.
Youth homelessness is hidden homelessness. People's perceptions around homelessness is seeing someone on the street, you know, asking for food or money, but actually the whole concept of homelessness, especially youth homelessness, is so much bigger than that.
How long do you normally work with somebody for?
We could work with a young person for only 6 months, but then we could be working with a young person for 3 years, you know? It just depends on where they're at in their journey themselves.
The team keep in touch with people even once they are in their own home. Corey was a teenager living on the streets until he got help from Samie.
Yeah.
What are you up to, man?
I was just doing my laundry.
Oh. No, but how have you been though, man?
Working and stuff now.
Yeah, are you still at the same places?
Yeah.
Look where you are now, man.
Yeah, all thanks to you guys. When I got the house with you guys, I just started putting my life together and putting it on track, looking for work and stuff. It took me a long time.
Back when you were on the street, how long were you on the street for, sleeping rough?
Probably a year and a half with a blanket and stuff.
Yeah.
Cardboard. Back then, I didn't know how to ask for help.
This is Eddie, an old friend from student days who now works at Lifewise.
It takes a lot of courage to admit that someone needs help, to just reach out, find Lifewise, find your community.
I wanted to know more about this underreported issue. How do you fill out a CV when you've never had a proper job or you've,
And that's the sort of thing you'd expect to learn from people at home, yeah? When you've got parents, when you've got sisters and brothers, someone older to guide you.
It must be really difficult for young people to figure all this out. Things like getting a power account, getting contents insurance.
Totally.
All those things that come with having accommodation.
You know, what's a housing inspection? What's in a tenancy, you know? That's what our team in Lifewise Youth Housing are there for, you know?
The youth worker would sit with me day in and day out and go through goals and life goals and teaching me how to maintain power and water and how to clean and live properly as a normal human being.
In a recent Auckland study, 1,300, nearly half of those in short-term accommodation were under the age of 18. This is shocking, and it doesn't account for all the hidden couch surfers, garage squatters or kids living in vans.
We have failed our young people. We talk about being a nation that is kind and compassionate and that is caring, but some of our most vulnerable people are being basically just left to live in such deplorable conditions.
I was honestly shocked to find out how big the problem is So what are the defining features of youth homelessness? What are the barriers that separates them from adults?
First thing is they're at an age where they should have a home to go to. They should have parents and all of that. I've spoken to a few young people. They're actually experiencing all kinds of abuse at home, where it gets to a point where they feel unsafe in their own family home. And they find when they do spend a few nights on the street, the community looks after them.
So there's a saying out there, the street people are your family, and they are, because they will help you out a lot.
Yeah. So
I
at
still-
that time, that was your sense of community?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my family at that
Yeah.
time.
And did it feel that, you know, you had a new sense of community and a new kind of whānau wrapped around you?
Yeah, I didn't used to look at it like it was my youth work. I used
Yeah.
to look at it like my mentor and like part of my family pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
So it's not just, here's your house, see you later, problem solved.
Definitely not, and I think that's what we talk about, like in general in Aotearoa, right? Like, oh, we just need more houses. But like, if you just gave, everybody a house, like, you're probably not gonna, have success. It's about having those houses and then the support that comes along with them, and that's what our team tries to do.
It needs to not just be, just chuck us a bit of funding to that service or that service. We actually need to stop and think, why is this happening? Because there's a reason for it. And then we need to work on addressing those issues. And that's a systems level, there needs to be legislation that actually says, hey, if you've come through the care system, you can't be released into homelessness. That if, you end up in the justice system, that you're not just released onto the streets, that actually there is a home there for you. We're going to look after you and support you until you're ready to go back into the community.
Corey had a brush with the justice system when he was a teenager. He was sent from the South Island to a jail in Auckland. Here he had no family or friends and was released without any support.
When it was my release date, I walked out and they gave me $350, and it was hard for me when I left. I didn't know what to do at that age with that amount of money.
So he was released from jail, $350, and then what? What does he do? He's dumped on the street.
What do you get for $350 these days? Not even rent. And sometimes we can house them, although all the properties we have are full right now. There's a waiting list of I don't know how much.
Shocking reality is that a lot of our rangatahi that we serve, when we ask them that question, how long have you been homeless? And you sort of explain that to them, they're like, that's been my whole life. How many young people, I couldn't even tell you how many have come through our doors and said, I've never had a home, I've never had a place that was my own, I've never had a safe space.
Nice and sensual,
Yeah.
good finishing.
It's a good outcome, I guess.
Yeah, hard out. It definitely is. It's an amazing outcome. I'm so incredibly proud that the young person that you talk about 3-4 years ago is the same guy sitting in front of me.
I feel now that I've come a long way than I used to be.
Yeah, man.
I used to be a rat bag.
You still are?
Yeah.
Nah. But and it blows my mind because like that Corey then to this Corey now, like I'm visiting you at your house. Like success is like, I remember when Corey got his first paycheck, right? And I always catch up with him like weekly or fortnightly, and I always like, we'll go have a feed, and we got there, and I was like, hey, what do you want? And he was like, nah, like I've got this. And it was a moment for me of like, something so small, but he felt like so proud to be able nah, I'll get you a feed, miss, like that sort of thing. So yeah, it's little moments like that that are so small, but they mean so much, and it kind of makes it all worth it,